Magglio Ordoñez is one of the most underrated hitters of all time, at least in my opinion, because I've seen him perform for so many years, but it seems that he never really got the full recognition that he deserves as a hitter, at least in the time when he was with the Chicago White Sox. So the question is, have we forgotten about Magglio Ordoñez and the kind of hitter he was? Magglio Ordoñez was an exceptional hitter and exceptional talent. He played 15 seasons in the majors. And listen to this, in 11 of his 15 seasons playing in the majors, Ordoñez batted over 300. That's magnificent. That's impressive, right? And he's a six-time All-Star. He spent his first 8 seasons with the Chicago White Sox, and that's how I recognize who Magglio Ordoñez was. I started watching baseball in the postseason 1999, but it wasn't until 2000 where I started watching full-time baseball from spring training all the way to the World Series. And Magglio Ordoñez was one of those players that he caught my attention, but he was never talked about to that extent in the press. And I guess it had to do because the White Sox never weren't that good of a team, but in the year 2000 they were a good team. In the 8 seasons that he played for the White Sox, he made the postseason once, which was in 2000. They won the American League Central Division, and throughout that time, I feel that that was the beginning of his peak, because from 1999 to 2002, he hit 4 straight seasons of 30 or more home runs and 100 or more RBIs. He was on fire in his time with Chicago. Supposedly he left Chicago because of his friction or not so good a relationship with Ozzie Guillen. Ozzie Guillen played for the White Sox, and then he went on to become manager for the White Sox. Supposedly those two didn't really get along, and it's unfortunate because they're both from Venezuela. But supposedly that played a big factor in why he left to Chicago, and he went to sign off with division rival Detroit Tigers. And it's funny because the White Sox went on to win the World Series in 2005, but Ordoñez went on to the Tigers in 2005 in his first season, and it was Detroit, the place where Magglio Ordoñez became more known and more beloved, and he became even more beloved when he hit that game-winning 3-run home run against Oakland A's closer Houston Street to send the Tigers to the World Series for the first time. This is 1984. The Tigers lost to the Cardinals in 5 games in the World Series, but Magglio Ordoñez will forever be linked to that moment where he sent the Tigers to the World Series. It's the biggest swing and the biggest hit of his career. But it didn't stop there, because in the following season, Ordoñez hit a career high 363. Again, and he was 32, 33 at this point. And usually, I won't say usually, but in most cases, when you hit a career high, is usually around when you're in your mid to late 20s. So the fact that he was doing this in his early 30s was just phenomenal. And he was just always that consistent of a hitter. He was always consistent. He had a very good eye for the ball, a lot of poise. When he's locked in, he's locked in. So, and if you go back to that game 4 of the 2006 ALCS, before he hit that home run off of Houston Street, the pitch before that, it was a slider, and that was a good slider. A lot of hitters would hit that, but Magglio Ordoñez did not swing whatsoever. It was a ball, it wasn't a strike, but it could have gone either way. But it was a good slider, and Magglio Ordoñez saw the ball well, and you just knew he was locked in. So, but yeah, Magglio Ordoñez, he never won a World Series title, but that's not important. He did got to make more playoff appearances with the Tigers than with the White Sox. Although I do enjoy watching Magglio Ordoñez when he was with the White Sox and the way he was performing those early 2000s. But he was an outstanding hitter, and he's underrated. Like I said, in my opinion, he's underrated, and he's forgotten, especially after he hanged up the cleats. I know that a lot of, I know that he's not very I won't say not everyone, but there's a good amount of people in Venezuela that don't like him at all because of his political views. But as a baseball player, he was that good. He was that good. Thank you for watching this video. Hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, be safe. And may God bless you all.